Hey guys, Donald here. Now, have you ever wondered about the kind of people that God chooses to be his representatives? Or the people that the Bible talks about and how mighty things that they did? But not many of them started off as this big, strong, burly person that was totally sure of God. God, a lot of the time, chose people who were in wonder, like amazed and unsure. And the story we've got for you guys today is about a guy who saw some amazing things and still was unsure that God had told him when he had told him. So you see, back in the day when the story was set, the Midianites had come into Israel because the Israelites, they'd stopped following God. They were starting to worship these idols like statues and things in their pockets, like, oh, this is my God, I carry in my pocket. And that, oh, it's raining, oh, it's good for the crops, it must be this God. Hey, you the man, high five, little man. And they had little sanctuaries and everything. But God was like, come on, guys. And one day, an angel appeared to this one guy. You see, his name was Gideon. And Gideon was just part of a small tribe, had a small family. Not very powerful. Certainly not who you would think God would go, I want this guy. He was someone that didn't have a big army, a big following behind him. But he was sitting there looking up at his family farm and looking up on the hill and seeing a altar and to Baal and a statue were there. And he's looking up there and going, man, how far have we fallen? And he'd remember the stories that his dad would tell him about how Israelites came from Egypt and the one true God brought them through the Red Sea and the plagues and all the amazing things that had happened, and Jericho, which was not that far away, and how the walls came down. And again he looked up to that hill, shook his head, and as the wind blew and cool night breeze blew over him, he'd look up and go, man, how far have we turned away from God? Lord, please help us. Because not only was that altar up there of different gods, but his people were being raided by so many other people. The Midianites were the biggest sort of bullies of the time, and they would come into Israel and all the tribes and steal their crops and take people away as slaves. They were horrible people. And Gideon was there going, man, God, how come this is happening? And you've got to be careful sometimes when you say that, because sometimes what happened to him could happen to us. See, God sent an angel down, and they came in and said, hey, Gideon, how you doing? He was like, yeah, but good. Didn't recognize he was an angel. He said, yeah, see, God's actually commissioned you. He's set you aside. He wants you to lead Israel and get rid of all the Midianites. You looked around, oh, sorry, who are you? Yeah, I'm an angel of God. And God's got a special plan for you. He wants you to gather the people of Israel and fight the Midianites and get rid of them. But there's something you've got to do first. He's like, oh, what is it? Look up there. He's like, huh? He looked up onto the hill and it said, you need to get rid of that. And we need to sort out something. He's like, well, hang on. If you're really an angel of God, I need to test it. Just wait there. And he ran home, came back with some food, and he put it on this stone before him. And the angel said to him, oh, yeah, put it all on. Yep. So you want to make sure I'm an angel? Well, yeah, kinda. And the angel just touched the rock. The food vanished. Gideon went, and he started freaking out. Oh my gosh, I'm sick, God. Oh, I'm dead. And the angel's like, chill. Dude, take a deep breath. Gideon, the angel said, take a deep breath. Deep breath. He said, you know what to do. Do I what? And so Gideon picked up the axe and he walked up up the hill. It was a bit of a hill, not a huge one. And there before was this altar to Baal and there's another pole and a statue with it. He got the axe at night because he was brave, but he wasn't that brave. And he comes up and he starts chopping the... And he came up, there's this altar and he got his best foot and he kicked all the stones and he got rid of the altar to Baal and the pole, and then he built another altar in its place and he put an offering on it and he lit it up as an offering to God. And he thought, well, okay, we'll see what happens. And off he walked down the hill. This is gonna be an interesting morning. And then the next morning when the villagers, the local people, saw that the Baal statue and the altar had been pulled down and there's another altar in its place, they're like, who did this? Who was it? Who did it? And Baal's going to be in. Look, he's unhappy. Look, he's smiling here, but if I turn him upside down, he's got a frown. And they worked out, so they said, well, I saw Gideon going up there. It was a Gideon. And they were, right, let's go get him. We've got to beat him up for Baal. Yeah, let's go, man. So they came up and they were going to kill Gideon. And Gideon's dad came and said, what are you guys doing? Well, see, we worked out that Gideon got rid of the altar up on the hill to Baal. So Baal is not going to be happy. So we need to kill your son, buddy. He's like, well, if Baal's the real God, don't you think he'll deal with him? Or are you saying that Baal's not strong enough to take revenge? Well, that's no, maybe, no. See? Baal, are you unhappy? He's unhappy. So your little stone statue, I mean, your God, do you think that's going to be... He's so small, he can't take care of Gideon, my son, one man. Yeah, sure, yeah. Well, maybe you should just let Baal do it then. Or are you saying you're bigger than Baal? He was a cunning dad. No. I'm not. Baal, I'm not bigger. I'm bigger than you, but you're a statue of God. Yeah. No. Yeah. No, I'm not. Off they walked. Gideon's dad was like, he's like, Gideon, what did you do? And Gideon told him. He's like, well, guess you're going to see who is the bigger God. Well, I'm kind of thinking that the angel I met, and God is bigger than that little statue, Dad. Yeah, I know, but this is big. He said, well, I think God is into big things, isn't he? His dad said, well, God's going to look after you if he's chosen you, son. I reckon. And off Gideon walked into the field again. And the angel came back and appeared to him. And again, he said, Gideon, get the people of Israel together. Blow a trumpet, and it's time for you to kick out all the Midianites. Get them out of your land, and you're going to stand victory against the evil people that stand to hurt my chosen people. And Gideon was brave. Sure. I mean, I don't know about you, but if an angel was telling me this is what's going to happen, and I knew there was an angel, I wouldn't be like what Gideon did, maybe. Maybe I would. But Gideon was like, well, I just want to make sure that this is the right thing to do. And the angel sort of looked at me, huh? So I'm going to leave a fleece, a bit of a wool mat on the floor. And if it's wet from dew and the ground's dry, that's God telling me to do it. The angel was like, sure thing, buddy. Next morning, Gideon gets up, picks up the fleece, wrings all the water out, filled like a bucket of water. Checked the ground, it was dry. The only thing that was wet was the fleece. Gideon was like, huh. Okay. The angel came and said, right, it's time. Just to be sure. He said, could maybe make it this time the ground drenched and the fleece dry. I just want to be sure. I just want to make sure. The angel was like, sure thing, bud. Sure thing. And so that night, next thing you know, Gideon walks up in the morning, ground's dry. Is it? No, it's wet. His shoes, I don't know about you, but if you ever walk outside and there's been a frost or it's cold and there's water in the grass and your shoes step in it, you get wet feet and wet socks. Well, that was what Gideon had. Wet shoes and wet socks. He was like, oh man. Bends down, picks up the fleece, and it's dry. Puts his face in it. I guess that's the thing. Rolled the fleece up, put it on the shelf, walked up to his dad. Dad, I've got something I've got to do. And he walked out. And he was thinking, man, why would God choose me? I'm from the smallest tribe, the least most powerful. But he chose me. I'm going to have to work hard to do this. This is amazing. And I'm scared. God spoke to him. He said, I will be with you, Gideon. Because that's the thing. Someone else said those words a little bit later on. And it was Jesus, and he said to his people, I choose you, and I will be with you forever. You will never, ever be alone, even if you doubt. Like Thomas did, or like Gideon. Well, I just want to be sure with the fleece. But the story didn't end there. And you can read about that in our next week's story. I'll see you later.